Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the post-show live chat, where we're going to be talking about everything that just went down in that last episode. Wow. So the Greg and Katie breakup happened, and it was a lot to unpack. Honestly, here we're gonna go. Honestly, I am still kind of processing what went down because there's a lot, and I think very obviously a lot of Bachelor Nation is incredibly divided on what went down. We're going to talk about all of it. I'm going to express my opinions, which ultimately I think this was a bad look for Greg at the end there. And we've got super chats. We're going to get to it. We're also going to get to, as long as the preview comes up, we're going to get into a little bit of sleuthing as well for the finale. We have one more episode left, and then we're getting into Paradise. And so let's just start this off right away. The rules, as per usual, please, even though there's only one more episode left, no posting any blatant spoilers in the chat. Of course, I'm going to do my best to answer any and all questions that I see, but super chats will get priority. And last but not least, please be kind to each other. So yeah, hometowns and a wild ending. Here, we'll start with the super chat. I already see one, Victoria. Thank you so much for the super chat. With Greg's exit, I feel like his edit changed from Bachelor edit to making people hate him edit, not villain though. Thoughts? Yeah, so I already know there are so many people who are really upset and with Katie, some people who are really upset with Greg. I think ultimately, even though at the beginning I can understand why Greg was feeling the way that he felt, I felt like Katie he was kind of a little bit emotionally manipulative at the end there. That was my gut reaction. And I just think like there was a point where Katie was like on her knees trying to like keep him there, and he had already made up his mind. That was a confusing part for me. She had sort of given him every opportunity to stay, I guess, without just ending the show right there and choosing him. So I don't know. I know there, like I had already seen a comment in the side there that said, well, if this was reversed, if this was a Bachelor and a Bachelorette was leaving, like how would we feel about that? I think if a Bachelor were on his knees begging someone to come back, it would still be the same. But okay, we're gonna there's a lot of super chats coming in, so just make sure I didn't miss any. And next is Melissa Berman. Thank you so much for the super chat. What type of psychological manipulation was that from Greg? How do you think this made Blake feel if they are together? Right now, if Blake and Katie are together, he's probably angry at Greg. I would imagine that Katie has had a chat with him about what happened. There's also a lot to say to the idea that maybe they're not watching at all. But I would imagine that no matter what, Blake or Justin, but Blake would be forewarned about what's going down. I would hope he's supportive. We have a whole other episode, a 3-hour episode plus the AFR, so a whole other episode to see how things go from here. What Blake does, what Katie does with Justin, which I think is a breakup. I think we're gonna just see a breakup there. But yeah, I don't know. I just, I think what has people so divided is that, there is there was a kind of weirdness to the end of the hometown date. Yeah, Katie saying, I like the way you look, whatever. Sure. But at the end of the day, I like that it was kind of from Greg at the end there. And Kaleidosaurus X, thank you for the continued support in the super chat. What in the actual flapjacks was that Greg in memoriam during the credits? I've never seen an edit like that for a contestant post breakup. Yeah, I have no clue. Was that them trying to capitalize on all the Greg fans being shocked, this relationship? I would imagine Katie's not too happy about that. I don't think Greg's coming back. I just think that's too messy. I think Greg has made up his mind, but I feel like they would have teased it as well. They would have done something like the whole preview, and then at the very end, it's like Greg shows up again. There is Greg footage originally, but we saw this actually at the end of their hometown date. This was what I was looking for, because with all the Greg stuff, the here, I've got my map from last week here. Still, all this stuff happening. What I was looking for this episode was actually this, because I knew we had the Greg kind of breakup potentially happening this episode, but I didn't know where any of this stuff was from. But that's the end of their hometown date. So I feel like they would have teased a potential Greg return if that was in the cards, to kind of get people going, whoa, fooling us that, Greg is for sure gone, and then next week he shows up and they fooled us, is less important than getting people hooked into watching the finale. So they would have for sure teased a Greg return if that was something. And besides, too messy. The Greg in memoriam thing is maybe they didn't know how people would react, so they put that in. It seemed weird. And let me see if there's any more super chats that I missed. We've got Keith Maddox. Caitlin as hostess was so refreshing to see tonight. Chris Harrison always struggled to relate emotionally. I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. This is where in my opinion, the previous leads as host comes in hand. I don't know what the phrase is. Comes in handy. Is useful, because Caitlin was sort of able to empathize with Katie a little bit, I think she did a good job. It's those moments. I think both Tayshia and Caitlin, they're new at this. I'm hoping that it's been announced that they're going to be hosts for the next Bachelorette season. That they're going to be a little bit more seasoned. But that's the area where I think they're useful as hosts. And Asia, thank you as well for the super chat. I feel really bad for Katie. I tried not to take sides when the breakup was going on. She gave him all of her, and it just wasn't enough for him. I was just so confused. He just seemed manipulative. I agree. I think there at the beginning there was a little bit of, I can understand maybe Greg's perspective, but he just went so hard on it. It was rough to watch. And if he truly was looking for signs to, like, if he was truly in love with her, wouldn't he have, like, pushed, to stay when he got opportunities to stay? I don't know. And, at worst, I think you can say Katie handled it, like, she didn't communicate the best, but Greg kind of just decided that was it, and he's out. When his, I don't know, he made up his mind, like, just out, and use some harsh language. I'm still processing it, and I will get a better idea when I need to watch that episode again, for the recap, because so much happened with that ending there that it was shot, even though we see the green jacket and he's coming, and it's what's about to happen. I still, like, kind of, it washed over me, like, in a weird, shocking way. So I'm still processing it. I don't think I can speak articulately about it even right now after watching it, but we'll do our best. And I know there's a lot more coming in. Margot, thank you for the super chat. I honestly think that neither person is bad for what they did. They just are in love and not meant to be because they cannot communicate properly. Definitely communication problems there. I think it's over between the two. It'll be interesting to see Greg at the after the final rose. How they come back together and talk about this it's going to be quite the after the final rose. It's going to be interesting to see. And Asia as well. Thank you for the super chat again. Really, really, really appreciate it. I wasn't the biggest fan of Greg, but now I'm definitely not a fan of Greg now. What the fudge? Thank you for that comment and the super chat. It's a strange thing. So a lot of people were in the comment section of the videos and the streams were saying, like, something's off about Greg. I don't feel right about Greg. I just kind of attributed it to the previews, maybe. I guess a lot of people are, feeling vindicated by that or something. I don't know. Again, I'm really interested to see how the after the final rose goes. What's Greg's response? Because so much of this is like, what the heck? I feel like right now I need clarification about what the heck just happened. So I'm hoping for that. Maybe, thank you for the super chat. Do you still think Blake and Katie get engaged after this? Do you think they'll last? Or do you think they'll try to reunite Greg and Katie? Thanks, Chris. Thank you for the super chat. I think there's going to be an engagement at the end of this. Based off of the this person related to Katie at the end there, who says something along the lines of, if he doesn't propose, she's going to be like, she'll never recover. She won't recover if he doesn't propose. And I think, and that person's going to be Blake. And we still have a whole bunch of Blake footage, by the way, like tons of Blake footage. Where is it here? I've got a thing here. We've got, we talked about the nails in the latest preview breakdown. We've got 2 more dates with Blake and 1 more episode and a potential final rose sort of thing. I think the Zobra thing here is going to be a goodbye to the Greg stuff, because the whole point of Zobra that I talked about in the preview breakdown when I did talk about this was that he is That's my dog, by the way, taking a seat right here. Is that he's like the cleansing of your fears and anxieties. So it's perhaps a cleansing of Greg. And Katie I, thank you for the super chat. I think Katie did not reply appropriately to Greg's remarks, but the way Greg spun out was completely uncalled for. Do you agree? I agree. I do agree. I think Katie probably didn't handle the hometown and the response to Greg as elegantly as she would have liked. She didn't communicate her feelings, which were essentially, I think we saw at the end of the episode and how Katie was reacting and talking to Greg when they were on the brink of the breakup, that her feelings were true for him. She probably didn't communicate how she would have wanted to. The fact that she was serious about him, we saw her say, he's going to make it next week to the family, and while also communicating that she wasn't telling anyone she's in love with them. It all was a mess. It all could have been done so much better. And I am not Nicole. Thank you again for the super chat, and really, really appreciate it coming back to the stream. All I know is that I hated seeing Katie on her knees and constantly apologizing. When he said he deserved more from her, she should have pulled a Hannah B because she did not deserve that disrespect. It made me sad. I think you and a lot of people here. It was hard for me to process some of that. Really trying to pay attention to the episode and all of this coming out. I think Greg really, really was emotionally manipulative at the end there. Again, I can understand where Greg was coming from at the beginning, a little bit. And I know there are some people who are like, this is what you signed up for, bro, with Greg. I do get that argument. This is what you signed up for, that she's going to be doing this, dating all these other guys. I think once you get to the end there, it kind of gets complicated, gets really complicated, and so I think it's the excuse that this is what you signed up for kind of goes a little bit out the window, but still, I do think it was manipulative at the end there, and hard to watch. And Katie, thank you for the super chat. Seeing Katie on her knees, again, another super chat, saying this, begging was disturbing and kind of triggering. Fair point. Just a reminder for everyone to take care of themselves just in case. Great job as always, Fantake. Yeah, that is a fantastic reminder. Also, if you were upset in any way because of anything that was going on in this episode, and someone tells you not to feel upset, you are justified for feeling upset. Don't let someone else dictate the way you're feeling. We're all here to express our opinions, and again try to be kind to each other. So another reminder for that. But yeah, that is a good perspective to remind people about. It like a whole ton going on tonight. That's warrants more watching. For the recap tomorrow, because wow, I'm agreeing with you. And Shannon K. Boyle, really appreciate the super chat. As someone with ADHD who struggles to respond correctly and succinctly under pressure like that, Greg's interrupting and criticizing, another good point, before Katie even really spoke was hard to watch, even if I get it. Yeah, this is great. Thank you for sharing that, because like these perspectives are important. Especially, it's important for me. So I really appreciate you sharing that, because Again, as I was saying, I kind of felt like blown over by the whole thing, and it's something that I feel like when I'm in a fight, that happens to me sometimes. Is like the fight gets out of control, and the point you were trying to make has kind of like gone. That was something you were thinking about 10 minutes ago, and you don't know how you've ended up at this point. That's sort of what I was feeling with this fight. With Greg and Katie, I kind of was like marking down a point, and then thinking, okay, where have we come? Like 5 minutes later, and there's something new, and I ended up like sort of lost, and so like these perspectives really really help me. I hope it's important for other people to read as well, people's reaction to what happened. So thank you for that. I really really appreciate that, and the super chat. And Layla Bien, thank you so much for the super chat as well. I can't wait for the Chatty Broads review of this episode. They were right about Greg from the beginning. We should have known. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting morning, the Greg hangover that happens in Bachelor Nation, because there are a lot of Greg stans, a lot of Greg fans, and I imagine there's going to be a lot of defense of even the stuff that was rough to watch from Greg. But like I really agree with the interrupting, the emotional manipulation, the like begging on the knee stuff. I totally agree with those perspectives, and yeah, I just think, I don't know, like if this was supposed to be the end for Greg, her love, boom, it wouldn't have gone this way. Wouldn't have gone this way. And Christina Job, thank you for the super chat. I don't think Greg really loves her and did this to get out without taking the blame. He didn't mean to make it this far. He's manipulating her. Really appreciate the super chat. Yeah, that's going to be out there no matter. That's already out there. People saying like this was done to pull the plug on everything, and with how forcefully he pulled the plug, I don't blame you for thinking that. There were a lot of opportunities to settle things down, and come to a place of, even if things aren't perfect between the two, even if Greg didn't feel alleviated of his concerns, to say, okay, let's breathe and let's spend the rest of our time here trying to work this out. But it was just gone. I think that was too much. So I don't blame you for thinking that. And AJ, thank you for the super chat. Hi Chris, huge fan. Are you familiar with MBTI? I'm not. It's clear to me that Greg is an introverted feeler. I think he's an INFP, which explains his behavior. I'll have to look all of that up. The I don't know, is it personality type of stuff? Introverted feeler. So I'm not sure entirely what those are, but Greg has come across as a very introverted, very soft-spoken kind of guy throughout this thing. I don't think that warrants any kind of reaction that he had here, though. But thank you for the super chat, and I will look those things up. And Rachel Robinson, thank you for the super chat as well. Greg just straight up sabotaged his own relationship. It felt like he was looking for an out based on how he handled all of that. Felt somewhat deliberate. Yeah, Rachel, you are not alone. You are not alone in that feeling. It is all over here. And again, like, I don't blame you for thinking that, because it just I felt that there were opportunities to come to a place of reasonable, even ground that was somewhat offered by Katie at certain points as the argument got extremely dire. And I know a lot of people are saying, Katie's reaction at the very beginning warranted concern from Greg. Saying, I love to look at you or whatever it was. But Katie also said that her reaction, the negative reaction that sort of happened there, came from a shift in Greg as well, if I recall. So I mean, we saw a huge shift in Greg. So it's again the beginning. I don't think it's so one-sided. I don't know. Gosh, I need to watch this episode again because it's like a fog in my mind. Everything that happened. How did we get here? How did we come to this? And Amanda Butler, what about the recent "I'm in love" post from Katie? I haven't seen that. I've seen some posts. I saw a post where Katie posted a bear emoji, and in this shot, Blake was the honey bear. So could be Katie has been trolling a lot of people online with different clues and things like that. There was a post that had Blake's hockey jersey in it, but Katie's also said that she's kept everything that the guys gave her. So it's hard to say a post means something concrete, especially with Katie, who's been known to troll people online. And Rachel Robinson, again, as someone who lost a parent 8 years ago, Greg does not appear ready for a serious relationship. And yeah, that's if Greg might not be ready for a serious relationship, that still doesn't excuse all the stuff at the end there, in my opinion. And Jess Sod, really, really appreciate the super chat. I really think Greg was trying to dramatically exit so he can become Bachelor, which ties into family members of his calling it an opportunity. Yes, I saw that as well. When the stuff comes out, what I'm referring to is a post about it was someone like Greg's aunt or something like that, mom saying what a great opportunity for him for his career or something like that when he left for the Bachelorette. I don't always buy into that stuff because I think that's something like potentially if I was going to be the Bachelor or whatever, my aunt might say without understanding what the heck is going on too. So it's hard to just go bam, this is guilty as charged when something like that comes out. But there's I think when it comes to Greg's Bachelor chances, I think that's not happening. I think there's far too much negative reaction. Even if there are people defending Greg, I think there's too much of a negative reaction, and they're going to go with Michael based off of as long as they can do figure something out for his son. They're going to go with Michael, which they had that casting call for divorcees, single mothers, which really makes you think Michael, unless that's another fake out, but come on. And Amanda Butler again, really appreciate it. K&T help her realize her worth and get with Blake. I think I think we're going to talk about this in the preview breakdown. We're going to talk about this as we get to Sleuthing, hopefully soon. Here, let me see if the preview's up. Usually by now the preview is up. Yes, the preview for the next episode is up, and we're going to get into Sleuthing really soon. And there's a bit of a narrative that I think is forming. I'll try to do my my best with this like live sleuthing to put it together. But essentially, if I were to guess, it's something along the lines of there's just Blake and Justin left. Justin, final two Justin, as everyone knew, and then something happens, sort of like with Redacted season, maybe, where Katie comes and is like, maybe ends it at least with Justin, and then Blake. And then from there, it's sort of will things recover with Blake, and will Blake propose? And I think there's going to be a happy ending. Blake has been so protected, like almost I've never seen before with Edit. And maybe that's, me thinking now that we're here at the end and it's like Blake or bust, but so protected by the Edit that I think he's going to propose. And he's going to be the savior of the season, and they'll go off into the sunset, and that's it. And welcome to Canada, Katie. I'll see you at the annual meeting. And Katie, thank you for the super chat. This is actually Katie. No, I'm just kidding. This is Katie Thurston. No. Thank you again for the super chat. I'm pretty sad that this Greg stuff is overshadowing the amazing friends and family we met from Justin and Blake tonight. Yeah, this is overshadowing everything. Yes, Justin has been dragged through another episode across the finish line, and his friends were there. His family, reasonably, I think, especially in a pandemic. I think perhaps if this weren't a pandemic going on, and if this weren't a bubble, I'd be like, come on, Justin's family, show up. Knowing this show, if my daughter or son or whatever were on the show, family member, I would still show up for hometowns, knowing that they can kind of manipulate you however they want, your footage however they want. But there's also an added bubble factor going on. And Blake's family was so, like, Blake's sister being like, WTF, bro? Is the third time's the charm? Is this one gonna work? I thought it was amazing. And Blake's mom and his family all looks like him. But yeah, I mean, how could this last hour not? And we are going to get to after the super chats. There's, I think, just a couple left. We're going to get to the live preview sleuthing. Herb for Bachelor. Agreed. Here. And Carla, thank you for the super chat. I have reason to believe that Blake and Katie kissing in front of the burning thing is a proposal. Where can I send my theory? You can send it here. You know what? If it's too much to send it here and I might miss it, and Cassie season, sorry, I just saw that from Thing Story. If it's too much to send it here, because I might miss it, or I might miss a comment on a YouTube video, tweet me at Bachelor Fan Take. I will probably see that, and you can also DM me on Instagram, but I don't it's iffy sometimes on Instagram because I'm always afraid of people like sending the wrong kind of thing. But tweet at me is one of the best ways to get to me with a theory. And SHM Design, I am going to get to your super chat. Sorry if I missed it. There's a lot going on here tonight. Let me see if I can find it here. Thank you for the super chat. Really, really appreciate it. I'm sorry that I missed it. I've got it here. I see both sides, especially if this was a real life relationship. But I also don't like how Katie just posts on social hinting he's a bad guy. I think that's wrong for her to do. What do you think? Yeah, so Katie, Yeah, she might have egged it on. When I saw the Katie like stuff about Greg online, the negative stuff, with how Katie has been like so trolly, trying to lead people around different ways with her social media posts. I couldn't fully trust it. I think obviously Katie is hurt by stuff. I think that was very visible from the men tell all. I think, by the way, Katie has stopped live tweeting at certain points. She's been very upset about all the Greg stuff and Greg, and I imagine that will carry into the after the final rose. I'm guessing. I think if this were a real life relationship, maybe it would be different. So yeah, I think it's a I like how engaged she's been on social media. I think it's fun for viewers, but you have to be very, very careful with how you do that. I think she's one of the first leads who's been so online and active in this way on social media, which I think is a good thing, but it's a dangerous thing. And thank you so much. I'm sorry I missed the super chat there. I really, really appreciate it. And AJ, justifying behavior and seeking to understand behavior are different. The way to move forward is to try and understand each other, even in ugly moments. Yeah, and I think at some point there was no more understanding. But understanding each other and working through fights to be better is hard work for couples. It's hard. It's not fun, but you have to work. You have to put in the work, and you have to lower your ego sometimes for the greater good of your relationship. And I don't think we saw that tonight. And Holly, really, really appreciate it. Super chat, no message. If there was supposed to be a message there, let me know. But otherwise, really, 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 really appreciate the super chat and the support. Thank you for supporting the channel. And Mitch Joy 44, thank you as well for the super chat. Do you think Greg would have left had he not seen the date with Blake? I think he would have left. I think he would have left. I don't think it was maybe. I mean, I guess it's interesting to think that was the impetus that springboarded the whole him feeling insecure, but no, I think seeing that perhaps at best solidified something he was already feeling. The insecurities he was already feeling, and then gave him sort of validation to say what I'm feeling is right, and go on the path that he was probably already going to go on. That's my opinion. I don't think it was solely because of that moment that all of this happened. I think he was on that road before. So. I don't know if let me see. Okay, and I saw Holly's note here. LOL, there was supposed to be a message asking what your ideal Canada hometown date would include. I'm on mobile and sent prematurely, I think. Thank you, Holly. Yes, so the Canadian hometown date was another hockey date. I think for me, if it was like a hometown date for me, it wouldn't be so much. I mean, maybe I'd find something, like one thing ideally, like that was about my hometown, but for me it would be more doing the things that I would normally do in my day-to-day life. Like, here's a taste of what my life is like so that you're used to it. Here, first, Katie, we're going to get up at 6 a.m., we're going to make coffee, and then we're going to edit a Bachelor fan take video together. We're going to do that for like 12 hours straight. And then, my dogs are going to need to pee. So we're going to have to feed them and take them out to pee and poo. And yes, and we're going to play hockey because it's Canada. There you go. The Canadian, it depends from where you're from in Canada. It's like, what's the ideal American hometown date? It's not like if you're in New York, it's different than if you're in Texas or California or, Baltimore or Seattle or Florida or all over, I think less generalization about Canada. So that's what I would do. Here, let me just check my message to see if I missed any more super chats. And there was one as well about someone messaged me about a dog reveal. Oh yes, it was from Rita. Thank you so much. From my dog just. Thank you for the super chat. I'm sorry I missed it. So these are going so fast sometimes, and my little thing here on there doesn't fully show all the chat scrolling, so I sometimes miss stuff. But Rita, really, really appreciate the super chat. Let us see your dog. I need something adorable after that shit show. Yes, if you want to see my dog, search Bachelor Fan Take Dog Reveal. I did it for my 50K thing, subscriber count. I swear, my dog Jackson just left not that long ago. Let me see if I have a photo on hand really quick. Past all these like memes and stuff. Here. There's a photo of Bob. Gosh, that's so bad. You can also go. That's my dog Bob, and Jackson, the white dog there. Oh gosh, it's so blurry. You can't see anything. There. Oh, there it is. There's Jackson on his little couch pillow that's supposed to get up all his fur. And you can see Bachelor Fan Take dog reveal if you search for that. Jackson, like, he was out here. I'm so sorry if there are any more that I missed. Like, if I know there's one here from Evangelina. If I missed, I'm so sorry. Feel free to either message me and I'll make it up to you, or refund it. But Evangelina Gray, before we get into the sleuthing, last one here. I don't love or hate either of them. I felt like Greg is working through some stuff and ended up projecting it on Katie. Yeah, there's something going on, because that's not right, And so whatever it is, not right, whatever the reason, I think I'm not going to go out into the world and I don't want to start like a witch hunt for Greg or anything. That's the last thing I want, or for Katie. We'll really dissect it in the recap. It's going to be like, okay, hometowns. Here we go. And I'm going to break it up. I'm going to try to make the intro also really, really light and fun. And then we'll get into all the heavy stuff. But all right. We have the preview for next week. It's not terribly long. Next week is the finale. It's going to be a 3-hour finale. It's going to be wild. I'm sure. So we're going to get in here once the YouTube ad is done. And we're going to get on the old preview headphones, too. So, let's see. Can we, nope, that's not what I want. That's the wrong display. Why is it showing the other side? Okay, cool. Oh, goody. Don't know why it's doing that, but there we go. Bada boom. Sam, your super chat never got answered. Let me find it here. I'm going to get to it. Justice for Sam. How much producer influence do you think there was for the Greg breakup? Probably a lot. There's producer influence for almost everything. That, you know, as it could have been as little as sending Greg out when Blake was on his date so he could see it. It could be, you know what, if you feel that way about Katie and she's responded that way, you need to tell her how you feel. It could be as simple as that. I don't think they said you need to break up with her or anything, or something as serious as if you want to be the Bachelor, you're going to need a heartbreaking breakup, so go and do that. But there's always producer influence there. So another was missed. So let me see who else was missed. I can find it if I get the name. Was it another one from Shannon? So, a golden tattoo. And Megan Lewis. Let me see here. Megan and a golden tattoo. Here, I've got the list of them, but okay, Megan Lewis here. I see here. I'm not convinced that Greg will show up at the after the final rose. He acted like he wanted everything on his terms. After the final rose won't be on his terms. He can't control it. Yeah, I wonder if they have. Yeah, it's very very possible. Thomas did show up, but he showed up over video chat. I wonder if they have him contractually obligated to come at that point, at least, as part of being in the contract there, and he might have to show up. Maybe not. It would be. I think maybe worse for his image if he didn't show up. Because then all the people, like, he wouldn't get his opportunity to explain. I think he would be better off showing up and trying to come to terms with everything. And if there was any hope for him, if he was thinking there was any hope of him being the Bachelor ever, he would definitely have to show up. So, and here, a golden tattoo here, this one here. Thank you for the super chat. I'm so sorry about missing them. The setup I have on the side with the comments, it sometimes disappears for me. I don't know. I'll work to be better at that, I promise. A golden tattoo, really, really appreciate it. I don't know if you saw, but Katie donated some clothes to a women's shelter, and she had Blake's Hockey's jersey in her pile with her Mariners jersey on Instagram. Yes, I did see that. I did see that post. and it seems really, really telling. But Katie has said that she keeps everything from the guys. So it's one of those things where you go, like, is that true? Or are you just saying that, like, is she trying to troll us? Or what? So you can't say with 100% certainty, but it's like, I think that's telling. I think that's telling. So I think it was the keep pile. Yeah, she's yeah. All right. So okay, we're gonna get to the sleuthing now. I'm really sorry about all the like missing super chat stuff. We're gonna be better. We're gonna be better about that. So let's get into this preview, and sleuth a bit. Everything's kind of reversed for some reason. The display thing reverse screens on me. So, all right, let's get into this.
It's the emotional conclusion to Katie's journey to find love.
I just didn't see it ending. Not today.
Left broken.
All right. So we've got Katie here.
Left broken.
Jeez. Get the fingernails. The red nails. So we have the nails are on the date where she's with Blake. So I don't know what's going on here exactly. The preview seems to be implying that this is her reaction to Greg leaving.
Just didn't see it ending. Not today.
Left brokenhearted and in tears.
But it could be more Blake stuff. I don't know. We'll see. But we're entering a new era. We're past the French manicure now. And I think the storyline from here is whether or not things are going to work with Blake or Justin. That's what I'm thinking. Rest in peace, the French manicure. Yeah, sorry. There are the nails.
Left brokenhearted and in tears.
Greg isn't somebody I thought would leave like this.
Her worst fears realized.
We don't put ourselves in a position where we have to rely on a male.
So there we saw the Zozobra date. Here. Also here. Also here. Where she's not wearing red. Red nail polish. So separate date from the hot tub date. There's also like a messy thing going on where they're like covered in hockey or sports stuff and dirt, and then they have a hot tub date. So again, this is likely something. I'm thinking it really, really makes sense now that we know that for sure this date happens after the whole Greg business. This is a cleansing of the Greg stuff. A cleansing of the anxieties and fears and everything that came with all the Greg stuff. And now, it's about their journey from here on out. And this is a common in New Mexico. This is a festival that happens in New Mexico.
I thought would leave like this.
We don't put ourselves in a position where we have to rely on a male.
What will Katie do now?
I hope he doesn't take you for granted.
So, okay, interesting. Is Justin here saying goodbye to Katie? I hope he doesn't take you for granted, Blake. It sounds like this is something he'd say about Greg, right? I hope he doesn't take you for granted. You know, like that. I don't know. Maybe that's the feel of why they put this in the preview. But is he talking about Blake while saying goodbye? I hope, you know, we're breaking up. I hope he doesn't take you for granted. Also, again, same, Katie's family, same area here. But also, is that the same area? Blake meeting the family? Hope he doesn't take you for granted. So, again, the narrative of we're going to end things off really quickly with Justin, I think makes sense. It makes sense also just by virtue of Justin not seeming like, you know, he seemed like he was going home at the Final Four. Some people thought Final Six, too. And yet, Final Two. Miraculously. All right, let's continue.
What we're about to tell you will actually change everything.
I have no idea what's gonna happen.
If Katie's still hung up on Greg, then there's no point to this.
So we've got, again, Justin's in the same outfit. We have seen this in the preview before, but it's hard to tell if some of these shots are like when they're from randomly. But looks, is he wearing the same thing maybe? This here? Not the same jacket, but they're being told, I'm guessing, about the Greg stuff. And he's contemplating something. But I think regardless, we're all going to come to the same outcome here, that it's just Blake.
So heartbreaking. The love that I had for him is...
This is Katie's outfit from this
real.
episode. And that's it. Wow, there you go. So they have here another van moving away. Is it Greg? Is it Justin? It's not. I can tell you one thing. Probably means nothing, but it's not reused footage of when Michael went away, because that was a different license plate. I remember checking that. But I don't trust any of this for Final One, like rose ceremony footage anymore. And that's another thing people have been saying. Where's the final rose ceremony footage? Maybe I don't know. Maybe there is none. Maybe they just. I think there's a happy ending, but maybe they just walk off together, Blake and Katie. That is. But yeah, no, that's the preview. I think at this point, it's just a matter of there's going to be a breakup with Justin, and then will Blake be the guy? Will Blake leave and come back? Like, will Blake have to process what it's like for, you know, would she have picked Greg? There's a lot to break down. I think if you watched this stream like last week and then watched the preview breakdown afterwards, you would have seen a big difference in just this initial sleuthing and what a couple of days footage breakdown does, because there's still the stuff of Tayshia saying, like, if you're not ready, you need to leave. If you're not ready, you should say goodbye, which makes sense at this point. Like, I think that's to Blake. If anyone, it's like, look, bro, if you're not ready to leave, don't mess with her feelings right now, because she's already been messed with enough. And then there is one more shot of Tayshia where she says, "What are you doing here?" Could be Blake, could be Justin, but we'll see. I'm gonna look at that. My sort of gut feeling is that perhaps because I don't think I don't know, who knows, it could be Greg showing up again to talk about it more, but I my gut is telling me that shot is maybe Blake showing up while she's upset or something. Tayshia's talking to Chris Harrison. So, where does Tayshia say that? I don't have it on hand here on my. I'm prepared, but it's in maybe the mid-season preview. Tayshia is in like a green jacket. There's the one of Tayshia with her hair up, and she's in a yellow outfit where she says, "You need to say, if you're not ready, you need to say goodbye." And then there's another one with Tayshia in a sort of green. It's like a 1 second thing where she says, "What are you doing here?" I'll put it in the preview breakdown. But I need to find it. Like, I've got all the previews here and stuff like that, and I'll pop it in. But it's like all question marks as to how it's going to go down. But I think at the end of the day, the important stuff, is it going to be a happy ending and who's going to be there, is not going to change. You know, how we get to that point, you know, like, which we've been close to or wrong about this season, has been, you know, like, that can be wrong, but the really, really important stuff, I think, is going to be right here, which is that it's going to be Blake and it's going to be a happy ending. And I think it's going to be a proposal. But at the very minimum, it's going to be a, like, let's be together. But you know, like, if there's no proposal, I think, watch out for Michelle's season, watch out for the Bachelor season, because the producers are going to be, like, hungry for a happy ending after the seasons that have, like, well, there was a happy ending for Tayshia, but for the Bachelor especially, I think they're already going to be hungry for a happy ending, which I hope means, like, all around they treat the Bachelor better and not just, like, get engaged or else. So I think, and yeah, and someone's saying, I think if I was a producer, Michael probably feels like if you can get him, a safer bet for that too. No offense to Andrew or any of the other guys, or Paradise. Paradise is back. and by the way, Paradise, there was a new preview that dropped today, another 30-second one. I probably won't cover it this week because I'm working on some stuff for this week, outside of Paradise potentially. But Dr. Joe is there. Demi is there in this new preview that Bachelor in Paradise posted during this episode or right before or something like that. And Thomas is there, which also there's that. Maybe I should do it. Well, I'll get to it because there is burning speculation about a couple, and I was forwarded this, but like, who could have known a couple in Paradise that involves Thomas, but now we know for sure Thomas is there. So now I'm thinking this is legit. And Jordan, thank you for the super chat. If you're in Blake's shoes and you rewatched Katie talking about how she was at the front, how he was the front runner and he would have won, what would you do if you were engaged? I would, one, hope that Katie prepped me beforehand. If I was blindsided by that, I'd probably be hurt, and it would probably need a lengthy discussion to get through it. Because it would be caught off guard hearing that and being like, you know, I would hope that I would be. I hope that I would be prepared because Katie would have prepared me for that, first of all. But I think if you're engaged to this woman and you've made that commitment and you're serious about it, and he obviously knew that there was a lot of the breakup stuff happened, and whatever occurs, he overcame that and they got engaged, you would be able to work through it. But yeah, no, if I was blindsided by that, I would be hurt. I would be hurt, and we would need to have a discussion, and work through it. But that's what you're supposed to do in a huge fight. You're supposed to work through it. I'm gonna swap this thing over again, so I'm not. But yeah, that's what I would hope you would do. But all right, we are going to come now to the end of the live stream. Really appreciate the all the super chats and everything tonight, and for sleuthing out with me, for joining the chat and being a part of the discussion tonight. It was, there was a lot going on, and I appreciate people being, understanding civil in chat. I know there's a lot of divisiveness going on with this Greg stuff. And if there's any last questions here, bring them in. Carla Johnson, Caitlin interviewed Katie and slipped up. She said that Katie chose not to wear the gown. Interesting. What is interviewed Katie and slipped up? She said that Katie chose not to wear the gown. Oh, meaning the final rose ceremony gown. Maybe. We weren't civil. I just missed it. Interesting. That's what it would have to mean, right? She was in her birthday suit. Yeah. Oh, when will the Bachelor video game stream be out? Yes. So I'm thinking that we are going to do that before Paradise premieres. Just because I was thinking of potentially doing an extra video this week, and the scheduling stuff is getting hectic. So I'm thinking a good time, because I didn't want to do a stream on Monday and then another stream, sort of thing. I just with the finale, there's a lot to go through with the finale. So I'm also thinking that's what I'm thinking. Not next Monday, but the Monday after that, we can chat about Paradise. We can chat about the end of this show as well a week after. I think that's when the stream is going to be. And let me see if there's one last super chat. I think I might have missed Stephanie as well. I got a message from the team. Let me just see if I can. She might have left. Give me a moment here. I can actually go into the studio. But yeah, I'm thinking that next Monday, there's going to be too much going on with the finale, and the Monday after that might be a really good time. Stephanie, Jean-Louis, really appreciate it. Thank you so much for the super chat. I'm not convinced that Greg was being manipulative. I think he was feeling insecure and shut down. Makes sense given the loss in life. Yeah, there's Greg, the loss of life, and being in a vulnerable place, and being in the Bachelor zone is a very vulnerable place. But I think, for me, there was a certain point where he did cross the line into manipulation. And if he wanted really what he was asking out of Katie, he could have reined it in again. But sorry if I missed that, and you've already gone. I'm gonna I think I'm gonna get a new setup because I don't trust the Streamlabs setup anymore for the super chats. So I'm gonna change it up, and I think I know something that'll work. But do you think you should do a separate video for the breakup though, in case it's triggering for some people? That's a good point. I think I will do. I'm gonna do I'll do a trigger warning, and I'll try to navigate it. But I'm gonna also try to make the up to that point really really light and fun. So, because ultimately this is a part of the episode, it's going to be a recap for the episode. So, that's what I think. So, thank you all, everyone, for joining me tonight for this longer stream than usual, but a lot to talk about. Next week is the finale. 3-hour finale. It's going to be an even longer night, so we're just going to be starting the live stream next week. So get ready, get prepared. Thank you all for joining, and until next time, Bachelor Fan Take out.